Good afternoon, all. Camelback Trading 2724 and the pitfuturestrading.com coming to you this Wednesday afternoon, January 22nd, and a very interesting day today. On another day where we gap higher, and by the way, I think that's 9 out of 14 days in the 2020 trading year that we've gapped either higher or lower. So again, the question is that emotional trading or mindless machines? I don't think it could be both, right? There's no emotions in machines. But we gap higher to an all-time high only to go out with a price spike, and we close below that price spike. We had 2 attempts at a trend day down. I had a small one earlier, then I had one later, which they both got filled. I had a bad tick again. You see that in J? We were trading $1 higher when it printed down here. Maybe that was a good guide to get short. I did get short in J, but I certainly didn't hold it this whole way. I took 4 trades today, 2 from the long side, 2 from the short side. First one on the long side, I did not buy the opening right away. I want to see if the gap held. We traded up, came back in. The gap held initially, got long, went back up. It was a nice trade, and then the gap filled. So that was my first long trade. Second one came in D period. D period now, for the last 4 days, 3 of them, we've made a new low on the day in D period, only to go and get back into the day's range. And yesterday we made a new high and then continued higher. And just to show you what I mean, so we did it on the 16th, made a new low, came back in, made a new high. We did it on the 17th. Well, we made a new low on the day, then came back, and we had a wide POC. And again today we did it. Now, we didn't make a new high today, but it turned out to be a good trade as we came back into balance. Started taking some off. I was long right around LM's high. Value was higher all day. That's one of the reasons I took that call position. Okay, and then I had a lot of CD later in the day because of that, and we'll talk about that. But I took that call position in D because value was higher all day. Took some back off when we at A, took some off at yesterday's high, and I took the rest off at POC. That was a trade I was happy with. Then I wasn't sure if I was going to look for an afternoon rally high or an afternoon pullback low. I certainly didn't want to be early on an afternoon rally high, and because value was higher, and we got back above yesterday's range and the opening, I certainly didn't want to be a hero and say, okay, I'm picking eyes high, so I didn't. What I did do in J is when J opened and couldn't get above it, as soon as we got below today's opening, I got involved, took a decent-sized trade, and just wrote it down to POC. It wasn't a big long trade for me because, again, at that point, I wasn't sure if we were going to have an afternoon rally high or an afternoon pullback low at that point. So I just basically scalped it. It was a nice size. I took it, and it worked out very nicely. And then the last trade I took was an M period, open, ran up. As soon as it got to F's low, where the price spike started, once we filled the single print, as soon as we came back below F's low, I took a short, and again, rode that down. So 4 trades, all very nice. I still have that sizable 332 put position that expires next Friday. So I'm kind of happy the way we sold off today. I do think this market's getting tired. I said yesterday I was looking for this market to come into balance, which it did. And then today we're gapping higher. And I was like, okay, what are we only going to have 1 day of balance? Well, even though we gapped higher, we closed back in here. So we have a 3-day balance now. And more importantly, now I asked this on Friday, is this excess? And obviously it wasn't. I'm asking again today, is this short-term excess on the upside? Right? This one might have been a little bit too telling because I said you're never going to know it. And the way we shot up there, everybody and was buying it. Here was a little different, where we bought it, took out A and B's high, made a new high, but then quietly came back into balance and just came down and the D went down. So we'll see if that's some short-term excess. All right. And as you can see right now in the after hours, we're getting close to taking out the day's low. All right, destinations for tomorrow. First one on the upside will now be F's low, which is where the price spike started, and that's at 331.65. So if we can't get back above that tomorrow, nothing really changed. Even though we rallied off the lows in L and M period, we can't get back above there. Nothing's changed, right? So 331.65. Then we had 9 wide at 332.05. Afternoon rally high at 332.40, and in today's high, an all-time high in the regular trading hours at 332.95. For our downside, we have today's low of 331.17. Then we have yesterday's low of 330.82. Then the price probe from the 16th at 330.24. And then these you should all have. I've been giving them to you. 330.17. Single prints get filled at 14 cents. 329.92 10 wide from the 6th. And then 329.45 daily low, poor low, and then fill in the gap at 329.02, a 43-point gap. 328.53 9 wide from January 15th, and 327.26 daily low. Now, let's get to the charts. Sorry about that. Monthly. Again, with under 2 weeks to go in the month. One time framing up for 2 months right now, not including this month. Still have the gap. Still very, very healthy. Weekly. One time framing up for 2 weeks. Right? You want to get distance away from previous highs. Right? We're in balance and then we popped. Well, now, again, we took out last week's high, but we're right back into last week's range right now. Okay? By about $1. And then on the daily, 3-day balance now. So again, and I said this earlier, I don't have this position because I think the market's bad. I just think the market was getting a little stretched out with all these gaps. And for it to come into balance, I mean, we can come in $2 or $3 and we're still basically in balance, right? I mean, I'm calling this a 3-day balance. You could call it a 4-day balance. So I think it would be healthy if we came down, took out that poor low, and maybe filled one gap and did a little balancing around the 328, 329 level. There's a lot of there's a vacuum below some of these gaps and daily lows that we have. So if the sellers ever got their act together for just a little time, you can easily see a 1 to 3% move to the downside, which is absolutely nothing. They have obviously failed to do that, but I wouldn't doubt we do see it in the near future to repair some of the poor structure below us. Hope you had a good day trading. Have a great evening, and we'll speak prior to the opening tomorrow.